Have you ever heard of Adam's first wife? Not Eve, but a woman named Lilith. Her story isn't in the Bible, but it's a powerful legend that has fascinated people for centuries. It begins in the Garden of Eden, right at the dawn of creation. According to the ancient alphabet of Ben Sira, God created the first man, Adam, from the earth. But Adam was lonely. So, God created a woman for him, also from the earth, and named her Lilith. From the very beginning, there was a problem. Adam wanted to be in charge. He saw himself as superior and expected Lilith to be submissive. But Lilith saw things differently. She said, "We are both equal because we were both created from the same earth." This wasn't just a small disagreement. It was a fundamental clash over power and equality. Lilith refused to lie beneath Adam, not just in a physical sense, but in every sense. She demanded to be treated as his equal, a partner, not a subordinate. When Adam refused to see her point of view and insisted on his dominance, Lilith made a radical decision. She uttered the sacred, ineffable name of God, a name of immense power, which gave her the ability to fly. She then fled the Garden of Eden, leaving Adam and paradise behind. She chose freedom over a life of submission. Adam, distraught and alone, complained to God. God then sent 3 angels, Sinoi, Santoi, and Samandrolof, to bring Lilith back. They found her by the Red Sea, a place that would become associated with demons and spirits. The angels delivered God's ultimatum: return to Adam or 100 of her children would die every day. This is where the story takes a dark and tragic turn. Lilith, defiant and heartbroken, refused to go back. She had tasted freedom and would not return to a life of inequality. In response to the angel's threat, she made a vow of her own. She swore that she would have power over all newborn human babies. She would torment boys for 8 days after their birth and girls for 20, unless they were protected by an amulet bearing the names of the 3 angels who had confronted her. And so, the curse was enacted. 100 of her children, known as the Lilith, died each day. In her grief and rage, Lilith transformed. The first woman, created as an equal to man, became known as the first demon. She became a mother of demons, a stealer of babies, a seductress of men in their sleep. This image of Lilith as a terrifying, malevolent night spirit became her dominant portrayal for centuries. After Lilith's departure, the story goes that God created a second wife for Adam. This time, he did it differently. He took one of Adam's ribs to create Eve. The symbolism is clear. Eve was made from Adam, a part of him, implying a more dependent and subordinate role, unlike Lilith, who was made from the same earth as him. For thousands of years, Lilith was a cautionary tale, a figure of fear. She represented everything a good woman was not supposed to be: independent, defiant, and sexually autonomous. She was the monster in the dark, the reason for protective charms hung over cribs. Her story was used to enforce patriarchal norms and warn women against straying from their designated roles. But stories evolve, and so has the story of Lilith. In the last century, especially with the rise of feminist movements, Lilith has been reclaimed and reinterpreted. Modern storytellers and thinkers began to look at her legend through a new lens. They asked, was Lilith truly a demon, or was she simply a woman who refused to be silenced? Was her sin really a sin, or was it a courageous act of self-preservation? From this new perspective, Lilith is not a monster, but a hero. She is the first feminist, the first woman to demand equality. Her flight from Eden wasn't an act of evil, but an act of liberation. She chose a difficult, lonely, and painful path in the name of her own autonomy and self-respect. She would rather suffer in exile than live in a golden cage. In this modern interpretation, her mnemonic portrayal is seen as propaganda, a story told by the victors to demonize the one who dared to defy the system. She becomes a symbol of female strength, independence, and the courage to fight against oppression. Her story resonates with anyone who has ever felt pressure to conform, to make themselves smaller, to fit into someone else's world. Lilith becomes an icon of the untamable feminine spirit. She is the wild woman who lives by her own rules, who is not afraid of her own power, her own desires, or her own voice. She represents the parts of ourselves that society might try to suppress: our passion, our anger, our fierce independence. Today you'll find Lilith in art, literature, music, and even popular culture. The Lilith Fair, a famous all-female music festival in the 90s, was named after her, celebrating female artists and empowerment. She appears in TV shows like Supernatural and The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, often portrayed as a complex and powerful figure, neither purely good nor purely evil. So, who was Lilith? Was she a demon of the night or a goddess of freedom? The answer depends on who is telling the story. She is a mirror, reflecting our own beliefs about power, freedom, and the role of women in the world. Her legend has no definitive end because it continues to be written and rewritten by each new generation. She started as a footnote in ancient texts, became a feared demon in folklore, and has now been reborn as a feminist icon. Her journey from the Garden of Eden to the modern consciousness is a testament to the enduring power of stories and our constant need to find heroes who reflect our own struggles and aspirations. Lilith's tale is a powerful reminder that history is often written from a single perspective. It encourages us to question the narratives we've been given, to look for the voices that have been silenced, and to find the truth for ourselves. Whether you see her as a villain or a hero, one thing is certain: Lilith refused to be forgotten. And her story, the story of the woman who chose freedom, too, continues to inspire and provoke us to this day. What do you think? Is Lilith a hero or a villain? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the story of Lilith, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into history and mythology. See you next time.